Yo, what's up, guys? It's King Crypto, and today we're going to be talking about how I created a $100,000 market cap coin. So I don't really have time to edit, so we're just going to talk about it as if it's kind of like a live stream with a little bit of improv, I guess. So first of all, why don't we actually look at the coin here? So this is called WAGME, and WAGME stands for "We're all gonna make it." I kind of can't believe that this worked out the way it did, but through a lot of different trial and error, I was able to finally get this thing to pump. Pretty much from community alone. Don't have any influencers that called it. Very little promotion. It was pretty much all word of mouth and just kind of using narratives. So that's kind of the way to create a popular meme coin. So why don't we get started with the charts here? Not the charts. How about we just show you the process of doing it? So first thing you want to do is you want to go on a website that lets you create a coin. For this one, we would do coinfast.fun. It's really easy to use and it's very convenient. So for all intents and purposes, we'll just use what I've already made. So it's called WAGME. We're all gonna make it. You get a token logo that you want to put 500 by 500 pixels. Easy. Decimal. So typically a total supply is 1 billion. For me, I did 500 million, and that was just to make it easier for the price to look more like a normal currency. Like, I want it, by the time it gets to like a 10 million market cap, for the coin to say like, I don't know, 10 cents or 20 cents. Pretty much just a psychological trick so it looks like it's kind of valuable, and it's not as confusing on the eye to look at something and saying 0004 and stuff like that. So that's why I did that. Token purpose and vision, I mean, it's whatever you guys want to do. This is like a crypto slogan, kind of. We're all going to make it. It's a positive motto in the crypto sphere. And I mean, for my coin, it's true. Everybody that got in is making it right now. So it's pretty dope. But just to give you guys some backing, I guess I kind of just did that. So we're all going to make it. And I would put an emoji or something, whatever. Kind of give it a little bit of a flavor. We go next. Now the website, honestly, if you want a coin that's going to go up to 100,000, you really should have a website. It's kind of amateur not to. So I do have one. This is wagme.fyi. I couldn't get a .com or .net, so whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have it where at least it says it on here, that's pretty good. Or WAGME on Sol, Solana or whatever. So this is the website, pretty simple. And for me, I thought it was a good idea to have a white paper and legal stuff, just, to make it clear that this is not to be treated like a security for entertainment purposes. So that's why I did that. And I think that's really, really smart to do. So if you guys want to do this, I would suggest to copy this, maybe, or just create your own. ChatGPT is your friend with that. So if you see on my website, it directs you right to the deck screener where you can look at the price of WAGME. And that's what I did for the website. So we'll go there. www.wagme.fyi. Twitter. Again, you just want to have something that's consistent. I couldn't really get something that was a little bit cleaner, so I just said WAGME is Sol. Like WAGME is Solana. Like, it represents Solana. Telegram, same thing. You're going to want to type it in exactly the way it's saying to do. And for my Telegram, it's t.me. WAGME is Sol. I don't have a Discord. You don't need a Discord. And so for modify creator information, you want to have that in the metadata that you created a coin and that it's on your website. So it just looks more, legitimate. So WAGME group, whatever, it doesn't even matter. And again, HTTPS, we do www.wagme, FYI. It doesn't, it's just in the data itself. So there's going to be three things you're going to see here, and they're selected for you because they're really important to have. So revoke freeze. So that allows you to freeze token accounts. If I saw a token and I could buy it, and then the owner of that token could just freeze it, he could dump the whole thing without any of us being able to do anything with the coin. So that's a terrible thing to see in a coin. That has to be frozen. So I'm revoking the freeze, meaning I can't do that to somebody, and that's going to cost 0.1 Sol. We're doing a Radium launch, so this isn't Pump Fund. I didn't want to do Pump Fund because you don't have control over the liquidity and how much you initially put in. You don't have control over the liquidity pool fees. We'll get into that, but that's a huge part of why Pump Fund and a lot of these coins, they don't want you to have control over that because that's how you can fund your crypto and the ecosystem. But we'll get into that. Revoke mint, that allows you to mint more. So you want to revoke that because you don't want to be like the world government that just keeps printing the US dollar or what have you, and it makes your coin less valuable. And update authority, you can't update the metadata, so you can't change information. And of course, I guess without deducing much, you can understand why you could just change information about the coin, or maybe replace it with a new one, or pretend it didn't exist so you can create another new coin to, rug people with. So if you do all that together, this only costs 0.1 Sol to create a coin without all these things. If you were a developer and you knew how to do it on Radium without this, it would be free. But, if you want to do it quickly, it would cost 0.6. And I'm talking about a coin that could go to 100K or higher. So if it's going to go to 100K or higher, and let me just show you one other thing. So coinfast.fund is blocked on Phantom, but that does not mean that this is an illegitimate site. At least when I used it, it was not. This is only the first part of the process. This is you creating the coin, not the liquidity pool or anything like that. So this has been blocked because some people use this and then they end up like trying to rug people by doing the liquidity pool part. There was like a real popular video that came out about how to do that. We're not doing that. We are going into the liquidity pool as something that's locked because, again, we want it to get to 100 some K or even higher, and people are not going to trust a coin that doesn't have liquidity locked. So that would be really stupid. But you can do that. Request blocked. You can say proceed anyway. Confirm unsafe. Okay, fine. And you say, by understanding I could lose all my funds. So I understand it's not really something you want to see. But, if you say confirm, then it works out. I did the same exact thing. If you don't trust it, I understand. You can go to, there's other websites where you could do the same thing. So, but this one's the easiest. So let's say you do that, then a contract address is created. Okay? I did this already. So you can actually see that I did create one. This was a test. This was not the actual coin. But I did do this like a few days ago for a video that I never ended up posting. But yeah, so that's what ends up happening after you take the buy, or you end up buying the thing. They give you a contract address, and then after you get that address, you want to go to Radium. Okay? Once you go to Radium, you want to create a liquidity pool for that coin. So that's not too difficult. And I see, you see all this, you're probably looking at all this and it's confusing, and I understand. So don't get all hung up on that. What we want to do is start by going to the liquidity section on radium.io. Then we want to press create. We're going to create a standard AMM. Makes it a little bit easier on everybody. this is not the real WAGMI, so don't buy this one. I'm not going to make it possible to buy it, but let's say you do that. You're going to post the token address. This is going to come up as a new thing, okay? You're going to just type in your thing, WAGMI, name is WAGMI, easy. User token, there's 500 million that you created, so you're going to use that. And what you're going to want to do is, I mean, it's up to you, but I would use 90% of your liquidity as the pool. So that would be 450 million. Solana, I have 7. So technically, for me to fund this, it doesn't really matter. You could do any amount, but the more the better, because you're creating a pool, and that's going to make it so that pretty much when people buy and sell, the price will be a lot more stable. A lot of times on the Phantom wallets, like you'll see a Memecoin and it'll say like, you know, the value's 100, and then when you try to sell, it's like $50. That's because the liquidity is lower. So technically, when you add enough liquidity, you're actually getting more of the value of the actual coin. It's just a little complicated to explain in a timely fashion like this, but essentially you would do that, and then you create a fee tier. So for my project with WAGMI, I did a 2% fee tier, and for that I was able to create a deflationary tax that I'm doing. Technically, you're going to make 2% out of every time someone buys your coin and sells your coin, and that's pretty powerful stuff, because you're making Solana out of that, and your token. And if you have aspirations of making your token 100K, well, you're going to see that your token balance is going to start to look pretty high when you do this with the fees. As you can see, I've built up a lot of WAGMI just from the fees, and this is kind of my war chest, and I protect against a lot of this is my leverage, you know, to keep the coin stable and protect it from like malicious actors. If I don't have supply of the coin in some respect, I can't protect it from people selling. So we would do that. You add however much you want to add. This is fine. Initial price, just leave it as is. And fee tier is going to be 2%. That's what I do. If you want to be more reasonable, you go down to the lowest. But if you're going to make a coin and it's going to be 2%, you should be using it to burn the tokens or to do airdrops. And that's it. We could right now actually do a little test drive here and actually create from my coin. So this is mine. We'll go do 1 million. Do 1 million. I want to save most of the burn for when we start this, so we're going to want it to be like a 1-to-1 ratio, and that would be like, because I have 2 different values, we don't want that at all, because that's going to cause arbitrage and you're going to lose out. So we'll go 100,000 here. I don't know how much Sol is. All right, that's perfect. So we'll do that. Then we pick a fee tier. See, I've created different liquidity pools, so I can't use these fee tiers. So we're going to use 0.5. That's the only one I have. But you can use 2% as the deflationary tax. Then it's going to cost 0.2 Sol to create the new pool, which is highly worth it, by the way. And what we're going to see, so we did that. We created a new pool. So what's probably going to happen is we're going to see it on Axiom, on Pulse. See that? Right here. So the trading will open for this liquidity pool in a matter of 28 seconds. And then after that, we're going to go to portfolio. We're going to go to standard. And as you can see, it hasn't shown yet, but in a few minutes, it'll show up. Then we're going to see, some trading going on, I guess, for Axiom. Once this opens up, people see it, you know, they get ready, they might trade it. and this liquidity pool will start to kind of play around. So no data yet. If you refresh, you might see something happen. As you can see, the price dropped because we did the liquidity pool a little bit, and that's because we're creating more value, which is a bizarre thing. I know that sounds kind of odd, but that is what actually happens sometimes. So that's just my test drive. By the way, I made 100. Isn't that nice? But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, man. And then after it shows up, you want to lock your tokens. So we'll get to that part when it happens. But you could see when you burn and earn, you start to make fees. I've made probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 doing this, just the fees. And half of that is Solana. So you're getting Solana and you're getting the coin. And if your coin is more valuable over time, you're going to make more and more. So this is like the hack that nobody really talks about. We can look at my balance. Should have went up. Yep. Besides the WAGMI going down, our Solana goes up. We do this. And if you want to add on to the liquidity pool, you're not going to have to pay that 0.2. So if I do that, it would just stick to the ratio that we set it at. I think that also just means that the locked liquidity from where it started to where it is like really high, actually, like 100x from where it was. So yeah, we got locked liquidity here. We refresh, and it hasn't shown just yet. We'll get there. We can see the price is different for here versus here because they're two different liquidity pools. It's going to trade. This liquidity pool is going to go active at this price point, pretty much. So that's when we kind of get started there. But that's not really related to this. Just know that once you create a liquidity pool, the whole thing starts. That's that part. Second part is community and hard work. And that's the part that people don't want to talk about. But you could see in our team group, a lot, man. We do a lot. You have to build a network of people that believe in the project. You have to really believe in the project as well. Actually, that's the ultimate thing. You got to believe in the project. That's how it goes somewhere. And you have to be willing to work hard. Like, that's it. So we did that. And you could see, like, to get to 100K was not easy. We had to create different narratives. Okay, so this first pump was the easy pump. The pump where it's like, this is the new coin I created. It's going to go somewhere. And then it dumped pretty hard from 20K to 1K. Just from panic selling. So from that time, it's been a pretty uphill battle, but we kept pushing and pushing and pushing the coin through airdrops. Airdrops are a big one. You want to do that. This is our social. So if you look at WAGMI, you can see we do this, and we actually send it to people on an individual basis. We want to do it that way because it's a lot easier to get more people to hold. Then you get more unique wallets. First 30 wallets, like, retweet. We do send this to people. That is partly why the holders is going up so much. We give people an incentive to buy as well. We do those type of rewards where if you buy, you get more. And pretty much that's like how this whole thing goes. There's a lot more to it as well, but we are going to, let me see what else I got. Yeah, a lot of this is just really hard promotion. There's something called rating. You want to get raters to raid your posts. So these people are usually incentivized by holding the token or being paid, which you should probably pay them. That helps a lot. And Man, there's a lot more to it. It's not just as simple as like launching a coin, but it pretty much it's a team effort. You just keep building connections and building connections. Now, the biggest reason we were able to build this one is because there was a copycat like a day ago. We were able to capitalize on the drama of another coin called WagMe that came out like today, and it went up pretty hard. You can see it has the golden ticker, and they created this thing like almost exactly a day ago. Ours has been 5 days ago. So what we were able to do is use the momentum that they stole the idea, which they kind of did. They just changed the pictures and stuff. And at this point, when it was like right around here, is when we started to really push. I started to create live streams of talking about this coin. We started to tell people that that coin was the fake, right? Which it was. So that was the copycat. We showed people the real one with a real website, real contract address, and we were able to pump this thing up from almost nothing to something in a matter of probably an hour or two. And you could see here the developers started selling around here, and then as we kept pushing, the price went down a little bit, and we pretty much got a lot of buyers probably because of that. That was a pretty big deal. So that's how we did it. A lot of it's narrative. You gotta create a narrative that will fuel the thing. You want to create a liquidity pool that's solid, that will, protect people's assets. And let's see if this thing has shown up yet. Okay, it has not. Yeah, that's how we want to do this thing. And you can see, like, of course, I understand I have a social media influence, but I created that from nothing. And you can do that. You could do that by just having a coin. Most of these people don't have social media influencers. Like, they're just people that have a lot of capital. If you don't have a lot of money, this is the best way to go about it. You got to get on the ground. Don't pay for influencers. Let them come to you. If it starts to do well, they usually come to you, and then you can agree to like a fairly decent deal. So this one is going down pretty hard, and ours is looking pretty good, with the exception of whatever this candled, but that's pretty normal. Like, that's like anything, like any type of what do you call it, Bitcoin is going down like horribly, right? This is crypto, so you're gonna see that. But the next candle, I bet you anything after this video is done, oh boy, I can't even imagine. This is gonna be really wild. So pretty much it was a natural progression to the top. You could see a lot of this it's really important that the chart looks good. This looks exactly like something that was going to happen. And if you know anything about technical analysis, you know that something that looks like this usually means the next candle's going up. So there's that too. We have, okay, here we go. And here's the liquidity pool that I created for you guys. APR is 9%. And what we're going to do here, now we're going to lock it. So technically I could take this whole thing out, right? And I'll get my money back. And if the price increases, I could technically sell it and I would get a stupid amount of money. But then you've ruined the liquidity, and then it's impossible to sell it. And if people know you, they're going to hate you, and hopefully you hate yourself because you just scammed a bunch of people and you're ruining crypto. But if you're not like that, which you shouldn't be, what we want to do is lock this. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go to liquidity, create. We're going to go burn and earn, standard AMM, and we're going to pick this one because that's the only one that's not locked. We're going to lock the liquidity. I confirm, permanently lock my liquidity forever. And once we do that, it's locked. And once it's locked, that's when you can start to make fees. So whatever the fee was that you sent is how much you're going to make every time someone buys or sells. If they buy $100 worth, I mean, for a 0.5%, that's only 50 cents. But it adds up when you get a lot of people. $2 for 2%, you know what I'm saying. So this becomes very profitable over time, especially as people keep trading. So you're incentivized to not sell when you lock the coin because you're making money because you're not selling. You're giving life to the project by not selling. If you sell, I promise you the coin will fail. You need to let it grow. So if you're interested in creating a coin, you're going to want to have at least maybe a few sold to start, I would say. Maybe less. It all depends on how you structure things when you start the process of building everything up. Wallet distribution is pretty important. Ours is not too bad, actually. Ours is pretty good, actually. Like, this is a good thing to look at. This is, this is pretty good. You want to keep it usually under 1%, 2% at the most, but this is the developer wallet. This is mine. This gets burned anyway at 1 million, so it's not like it really matters. But here's the thing, though. I want you to look at this. See how liquidity is locked? If the liquidity is not locked, I would never buy a coin where the liquidity is not locked. That's stupid, and you're pretty much asking to be rugged. So never buy a coin unless it's locked, just so you know. So that's pretty much it. That's how I did it. This coin has a lot of potential because of the deflationary tax, the burning, the further adding of the liquidity, and we're going to pump this thing up to, like, I don't know how much further it goes, but I estimate at least 1 million, but my target is 5 million to 10 million. So that's pretty much where we're going. Basing it off of WAGMI, if we can replace this one and surpass it in price, that's a really good look. And I think after this video, that's pretty much going to happen. A lot of investors in this, look at how many, there's like thousands of investors. They're going to see that and they're going to probably jump in. And again, we're creating a narrative that there's a war going on between us and this one, because this one's not the right one. And then it creates something where people are like, oh, I got to pick a side. And it's no different than the double-edged sword method, but we're having fun. That's what crypto's all about. They did steal it, though, so I don't feel bad, but I found that, I saw that, and using that narrative is how we were able to bring it to the next stage. We have different problems for every market cap. There's $1,000 market cap problems, there's $100,000 market cap problems, and to solve them, you have to just keep figuring out new creative ways to do things. So if you guys got any value out of this video, you saw that I just did that. I did make a coin that's 100,000. At its peak, it was $220,000. So, we're doing pretty good. And pretty much I'm just saying, if you guys want to create a coin, you can always reach out to me on Telegram at Real King Crypto. I was thinking of maybe starting something where I help people do it because, I didn't know I could do it this well, but it worked out. So now we're going to pump this thing up. After this video, I just got TikTok to 1,000 followers. My following count today went from 51 followers to 1,000 followers because of this coin and because of the market cap. So you can imagine it's going to continue. The live streams are huge in growing a coin. So, if you guys want to get involved with something like that, that's something that I'm able to do. So, yeah, man, that's about it. That's how you create $100,000 coin. Not saying it's easy. I did this all day and night for days, and there was many times where I felt like there was no way this was going to work. I was not going to be able to make it, but we're all going to make it. You see what I did there? You know what I'm saying? So, all right, guys, easy stuff, bro. Have a good one, guys. Let's get cryptical.